Hey everybody, Ryan Kwan here today with a case review for the Apple iPad Pro 12.9 inch. This is the Verus layered dandy case for the iPad Pro. Currently it's only available for the 12.9 inch model, but they do have the 9.7 inch version coming out very soon. Here is the case. It's a folio style case. As you guys can see, it's got this magnetic clasp here. And if you open it up, you can see the beautiful 12.9 inch display. And if we flip it over here, you have the inside here, which has this nice microfiber-like texture, which is going to keep your screen protected and not get all scuffed up. And over here on the side, we have two pockets. Now you can store, cash and cards in here, but you don't want to put too many things in here because, if it gets too thick and bulky here, it's not really going to close up. And so just keep that in mind. While you do have pockets, it's kind of limited in a certain sense. Now, one thing I want to point out, as you can see, is that it does not have the magnetic sleep-wake feature that some other cases have. Because the magnet is here in this clasp, it's not embedded inside the flap here. So that's something that you may want to know or note if that's something that you're looking for in an iPad Pro case. So in terms of the material, this is a PU leather. It's not real leather. However, unlike a lot of other PU leather cases that you might find on Amazon, which this case is available on Amazon, by the way, for $54.99 right now. I'll have a link to it in the video description. So like I was saying, a lot of cases, like cheaper cases with PU leather, have like this really bad factory smell once you get it. While this doesn't have like this genuine leather scent, it doesn't have that harsh chemical PU leather smell that you might find with a lot of other manufacturers. So that's something that I also wanted to point out. One thing I also want to show here today is the packaging. Not super important, but just in case you might run into some counterfeit products, this is the packaging that I received. This was sent directly from Verus, so this is the official packaging. So if you get something else and you order this case, there's probably something wrong with the version you bought. So this is it. Let's go more into details with the case. Here on the front, you've got the Verus logo engraved into the PU leather here, which just wraps around this plastic hard shell. As you can see, it's just kind of pretty much wrapped all around this hard plastic cover that snaps onto the iPad. So if I open it up here, you can see that how it's held on is just through this plastic hard shell case on the sides and the back, of course, and it's all wrapped in this PU leather, which I've looked over it and the stitching is pretty on point, but there are some areas when I received it and I haven't really done anything with it where the leather here, as you might be able to tell, it's kind of peeling off and just not a perfectly done wrap. So it's kind of also a pricey case, so wasn't really too impressed with that point, but it is what it is. And for the most part, it's pretty unnoticeable. You really have to, point those things out for them to really bother you. So for me, it's not really a big issue, but that's probably because I didn't really pay for this case. If you do pay for it, I would highly suggest looking over it thoroughly and contacting Amazon or Verus and see if you can get a replacement if you do run into some wear issues. Of course, we cannot forget the kickstand functionality here. So as you can see, we've got two angles that it can sort of sit in. So this is the first angle. As you can see, the hard shell, it just sort of sits onto this first pocket here. And with it in that area, you can just open up something like Word, open up a blank document, and just type away. Pretty sturdy. It's not really going to, collapse. I've read some reviews on the Amazon page for this product, and for some reason there were a lot of complaints with people saying that it collapses. And I can see, you know, why they say that, but I mean, you really have to like give it a good old force for it to sort of collapse like this. And I guess it's more prone to do that if you press in from the top here, where it just sort of, the hinge here just sort of collapses and there's nothing to support it. So yeah, I guess, you know, you just want to be careful. You don't want to put too much pressure on top here. And if you know, have some reason that you need to do that, maybe this is not the case for you, because any force, like just a decent amount of force that you apply on the top here will make it collapse. On the lower half, it doesn't really matter, but on the upper half, it will matter. So that's something to keep in mind. And so we got this first angle here, second angle, and that's about it. They're not really, I mean, they're pretty steep angles also, so that's great for if you want to use not really a keyboard, or you can have a Bluetooth keyboard here, right here, or you can just use the on-screen keyboard and type like this, and it's a good angle to do that. But if you want a more lower angle like so, you can't really do that. You just have to go all the way straight down, flat. And so if you want to draw, this is the angle that's available. Not really an angle, it's just lay it flat down. There's nothing lower than that. So that's the angles for this case. And I just want to finish, I guess, with showing you the cutouts. So, I mean, up top, it's all pretty much wide open. And here for the volume rockers, on the bottom here, speakers, lightning port, speaker. This side is fully covered because there's nothing here. And up top, I already showed you guys, but headphone jack, speaker, and power button. And on the back here, we also have this cutout for the camera and the microphone. Also, something to point out is if you want to use it without this flap, you know, flapping out in the front here, what you can do is, because it is magnetic only to this flap here, you can just sort of fold it back like so. And, you know, it's out of the way. So one thing I've been enjoying with this case is the lack of bulk it adds to the iPad Pro. As you can see here, it adds virtually nothing to its dimensions, really just about 1 millimeter or so to the overall thickness of the iPad Pro. And in terms of weight added on, you know, it's not too heavy. It's a bit more heavy than, of course, just the iPad Pro itself, but overall a very thin and lightweight case. So that's going to do it for this review. Once again, this was the Verus layered dandy case for the Apple iPad Pro 12.9 inch. This is the coffee brown color for reference. And there's also 2 other colors to choose from. There's the black and a wine red, both of which look very sharp. So if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And like I said, this is also coming very soon for the iPad Pro 9.7 inch as well. All the links you need will be in the video description, so be sure to check it out. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching.